Maybe get a shooter here, huh?
Come on, 9. Come on.
999.
Let the viewers know who you are.
I'm Kev Mack, the owner, producer, and interviewer at Kev Mack Videos.
You authored 2 books. Can you tell us a little bit about what they're about?
Sprung was my first release. It was pretty much about my life in the streets and gambling, having shootouts, going to and coming from crap games, and how I took my show on the road from LA to Vegas, gambling with peasants to gambling with multimillionaires. And the purpose of it was pretty much to show my family and friends what I'll be going through on a personal and financial level, and just reminisce on my growth in the streets and growth to maturity, and kind of let my kids know, what Dad was really like coming up.
And where did you grow up?
I grew up in LA, born and raised in LA. My address where I live for basically all my life is located in what today we call the Overhills. That's a section of the neighborhood in the Rolling 60s.
And what schools did you go to?
I attended 54th Elementary School, and pretty much all the kids on our side of the neighborhood, basically like west of Crenshaw, it didn't matter if you was north of Slauson or south of Slauson. A lot of gangbangers and childhood friends went to that school. In junior high school, I went to Webster Junior High. I was bused there. And then I went to Palisades High School for 2 years, and I was fucking up there. So it was in everybody's best interest that I attended Crenshaw High School.
And how did you start gambling?
It's so many ways that I could describe how I started gambling, but as a child, just the competition in the neighborhood. We would bet on how many hits we get, and home runs, and strikeouts, and those particular things. And then you got the video game aspect, as well as my father taking me and my brother to Hollywood racetrack to bet on horses when I was a little kid.
What were some of the arcade spots you went to?
We had a spot on West Boulevard called Take 5. We had the Stop Shop on Slauson. When the Fox Hills Mall opened, they had an arcade there. I used to go to Westworld and Marina Del Rey, 7-Eleven on Atlas Vista, and then T&D, the local liquor store. Those are the places I attended most frequently.
And was it gambling or just competition?
No, it was just a childhood competition. And then, like in high school, motherfuckers started taking shit more serious, and we just went at it, man. We went at it. As far as the arcades, we didn't really gamble then.
When did you start going to Vegas?
I first hit Vegas when I was 20 years old. My father took me, and he had me pretending like I was an adult, just hanging by his side like a little puppy, and watch him play the slot machines and watch him play craps. And I ventured over to the sports book, and that was my introduction to gambling in the sports book in Las Vegas.
And who was going to Vegas with you?
Man, I used to go to Vegas with all my, I don't want to say girlfriends, because I didn't really have girlfriends, but I used to take a lot of girls to Vegas. All the homies, we used to caravan. I mean, when I say all the homies, I don't mean the whole neighborhood, but, those of us that gambled, age range didn't really matter. Basically, from my brother's age or Slip Crock's age on down to like the homies like Dika and Lil Bunky. And we would go all the time, man. We would go to shoot dice. We would go to bet on sports. And then, as I met more people from other hoods, I would go with 11 Trey Blocks, 107 UGs, go with my Damu partners, and that's how we did it back then.
So when did your gambling elevate?
You know, my gambling habit was always a progression. You know, from junior high school days of betting friends on football and basketball and baseball. Well, they didn't really bet baseball back then, but gambling on professional sports like boxing, and it got higher and higher and higher. The stakes got higher and higher. So as I got into high school, I was betting for lunch money, and shit just got bigger and bigger to where a motherfucker trying to buy new shoes and outfit, go out on the weekends, and so it was always an elevation period. But when I really start gambling, like 20 and 30,000s, was probably in the early '90s. It was always a, as they say, it's levels to this shit. It was a lot of different levels to gambling. You got your gambling as a kid, gambling as an adult, gambling for a living, gambling to pay bills, gambling to fuck off money. So it was always an elevation period.
What were the major dice spots in your neighborhood?
Now, we used to shoot dice at Black Cal's house or Big Cal, same thing. No disrespect to Cal, that's just what we call him, Blackie. And it was Pear's house, Jerry Green's house, my house. We used to gamble at Ding Ding's house, gamble at Charlie's, Slip Rock's house. I mean, we gambled everywhere, man. You know, me and my homeboy Shawnee Mac, we always laugh because we will pull up anywhere and gamble. We might gamble in front of the liquor store, Buddha Market, in the barber shop. It didn't matter. We that's what we did. We gambled.
Tell me a little bit about Jerry Green.
Jerry was allegedly a BGF. Jerry was an old, mean, dark-skinned, just like crazy guy. I remember as a kid when I used to play on that side of Slauson, he stayed on like 59th and Alviso, and he had the nicest grass on the block, and we would walk across his grass or steal his newspaper. And Jerry used to threaten us and shit. He used to threaten us with violence and death, but we thought the shit was fun, man. As being adolescents, we didn't respect nothing, you know what I mean? And as I got older, Jerry Green had did a stretch in federal prison. Well, it might have been state prison, but I think it was federal prison. But when he came home, shit, he was like one of us, man. He gambled with us all the time, and he had the drugs, the hoes, he had the smarts, he had the confidence and experience. So a lot of us looked up to Jerry Green, man, for direction and just to learn things about the game.
Now, in your first book, Sprung, you talk about the backyard games and people coming in and out, rotating cast of characters. How did that look through the day?
Man, I almost want to smile, man. Them was the days, man. Just everywhere we went, basically the same characters, but say you might pull up one day, right? But then on another day, you might pull up with one or two people that you done turned on to us. So it was you're not necessarily gonna see the same faces every day, but the nucleus of us you was gonna see every day. So we got a camaraderie out of that shit, and we was good friends, man. We went through a lot of good and bad together.
Now, gambling took you to some neighborhoods you probably shouldn't have been in. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was fucking with this dude named L. L was like my cousin, man, to this day. He like a little brother to me, to be honest. And L fucked with a lot of Don Moeses, right? So, fucking with L, I met Don Moeses from Athens, 20 City Stones. And so, yeah, I would go to the 20s and the City Stones and gamble a lot, man. And shit was, I don't know how to describe it, man. The shit was just crazy, man. That just go to show you to what extent I would go to gamble.
And you had some close calls during that time, right?
Yeah, I had a lot of close calls in the 20s because it was during a time where gangbanging was still at its height in Los Angeles. And so you had 60s and 30s going at it with the 20s. And You know, we had a thing going on in LA back then where somebody from your hood might go put in some work and they fail to come back to the neighborhood and let you know what's going on. So I already know I'm in basically out of bounds, right? But during the crack era, a lot of people was out of bounds because you cross certain lines to get a cheaper dope sack or get a better quality dope sack. So what I was doing wasn't really unheard of. It's just the fact that I was able to make myself feel so comfortable, and I wasn't always greeted with that same mentality. And so there was an instance where I got hit up on the corner of Pico and like Gramercy, and then there was an instance when I went to visit a dude, Peanut from Athens Park, and basically the 20 niggas that had kidnapped me. They took me off of the room in the apartment, held me at gunpoint, and talking all kind of shit, disrespecting my hood, disrespecting Crip, and shit really wasn't nothing I could do. But I looked out the back window. We upstairs in an apartment building, and I couldn't jump out because there was a bunch of bloods in the back. So I basically was stuck really and looking for an opportunity or way to escape, but eventually Pan pulled up. Pan checked them niggas. And the cold part about it, it was a female egging the whole situation on, you know what I'm saying? She was like, verbally, she was downer than all the dudes, right? But the dudes, for whatever reason, they were acting, but they didn't go all the way with it. I guess they wanted to wait and see if I was legit or not. And, you know, I had a lot of close calls, man. I would win games and bloods would trip on me, start dissing and all that old shit. But, you know, I played it like a player, man. Like, what's wrong, nigga? You mad you lost your money? You know, I never responded with no Crip shit or no 60 shit, nothing like that. They already knew where I was from. But a lot of times that shit got me in deep water, but I never had any harm inflicted on me.
Now in Sprung, you talk about getting paid with fake money in a dice game. You let us know about that story?
Yeah, man. We was gambling at L's house. Once again, L, my partner, and L stayed on 3rd Ave and 39th, right? And he had a lot of blood company. A lot of Damus used to come over there and shit. And because L used to low ride, hustle. You know what I'm saying? We used to get a lot of girls back in the day. So L's house was the spot. And L had a garage in the back, you know, make it safer, and we could pile a lot of people up back there. And so I used to gamble on 46th Street all the time, but we cracked the dice game so many times that we didn't have nowhere to go. So I turned my partner Baby on to the dice games on 3rd Ave. So we went on 3rd Ave one time, and this dude named Chief, I don't mean the name drop, but shit, motherfucker didn't care about dropping fake money on me, so we gonna go ahead and put his name out there, you know what I'm saying, as a payback. But Chief come dropping fake dubs on us, right? And I think Bebe got wind of it first, or maybe I got wind of it first. I don't quite remember the sequence of events, but Bebe was hot. Bebe was mad, man. Bebe was ready to do something, but I'm like, you know, these my folks, man, you know. So I hollered at L. L act all soft and shit. L don't want to believe this shit. L, I guess he don't want to take no sides and shit, or maybe he didn't want to get involved in the drama, but for whatever reason, L act like he don't believe me and shit. So we continue to play, and we find out it's Chief, and you know, we clown, we pass the money back to him and clown, but at the end of the day, I seen some of them fake dubs in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Between me, Baby, and Richard Allen, some of them fake dubs got back to the hood, you know what I'm saying? So this probably be the first time that people in the hood know this, because it hasn't been talked about before.